Hey guys, this is Heretic, and it is Wednesday, June 30th, 2021, and this is the Guide to Statistics, Part 6, Damage Modifying Statistics. Damage statistics are the most important statistic considered in a PvP battle, but are often the most overlooked. In this video, we're going to go over each of the damage modifying statistics and where you can raise them. And as you can see in this battle report, most of my other stats are well below my opponent, even when you consider the troop stats which add on to these. So, I'm 23 above, on this one, and he's quite 100 above over there, so that's not going to make up the difference. But when you get to the damage modifying stats over here, you'll see that I'm ahead. And so army damage, 103.5, 97.5 for him. So that's a big one. Same thing, army damage received, negative 61. His is negative 55. So in this video, we're going to go over how to raise these so that you can beat your opponent even when they beat you in other stats. But before we get to that, if you're a fan of King of Avalon or mobile gaming content in general, take a moment and click the like button. Go ahead and leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. And click the little bell to get notified when the next video is available. All right, let's get started and let's go down the list. As you know, most stats, or in previous videos, all stats are either listed here in your profile and more information, and you can look down here and you can see your stats. So they're divided up between your Lord and your Dragon stats, which you can come over here and click the little eye next to your Dragon power, and you can scroll down and see the stats there. But if we go back and we look at the battle report that I just showed, or one like it, let's go down to the battle log. Let's grab one of these. If we go down to the damage modifying statistics here, let's start with army damage plus 103.5. All right, so we're good. Let's go to Lord. That's the easiest. Go to more info. Scroll on down till you get to army damage. Army damage 97.5. And then look on your Dragon, and the army damage is 1. So that would mean that I should have 98.5, right? Because we know that your Lord stats, they all come from your research, alliance research, your equipment, your hero weapons, your every other item than the ones that are here within the Dragon layer, right? So what's going on? Well, with draconic stones, there are special skills here, and some of these are not being counted within the Dragon stats. So specifically, if you look here under Draconic Awe, you have troop damage plus 5 and troop damage received negative 5. Okay, so this is a difference that you see between the Lord stats and the Dragon stats when it comes to army damage received and army damage output. Okay, so that's your plus 5 and your negative 5. That we'll see that as we go through. So let's look at all of the other ways that you can get your army damage. So if you go down here to your forge, and on your armor, if you click bonus benefits, and scroll down, you'll see that you get the largest chunk of your army damage here from your equipment. As I go up to +4, it has no effect on this. So whatever, you could be at the base of Flamebringer set and you would still get this. If you have one piece of Ice Lord and you have 5 pieces of Flamebringer, you'll still get this, because those two work together. Okay, so that's 67.5. Okay, and as we see here, look in more info. You have a 97.5, so there's 30% is still out there, right? So the other place to look is here at your Hero Council. Click Hero Council and wait for that to load, and then click Covenant, and it's in here. This is a place you might overlook some of your stats, but this is a good spot. So different heroes together form covenants. And so you get +10 here to your army damage. You get another +10 for having King Arthur and Lancelot. And then you get another +10 for having Bors and Gorlois. Okay, so that's your 97.5. And then if we look in your dragon, like we saw earlier, scroll down, you have a +1. The +1 actually is pretty easy. It comes from your star level. So as you go up, once you get to 6, you get your +1 army damage, and at 7, it'll go up 2 more to +3. So if you can raise up your star level of your dragon fast, you will get higher army damage and more army damage received. And look at your troop stats go up quite a bit too. So that's a really good thing. People overlook the importance of raising up your dragon star level. Okay, so that's army damage and army damage received. Let's look at that army damage received one more time, just to go over everywhere it comes from, which will be the same places that we just saw army damage. So if we look in here, we see your army damage received is -55 for your, on the Lord side, and that will come from your, in Armory, come over to bonus benefits, army damage received, -25, look in your Hero Council, at your Covenant, army damage received, -10, -10, and -10. So there's -55. Let's go over that one more time. -55. Okay. So we got the 25 off of our bonus benefits from our equipment, from our gear, and then we get another -30 off of the Covenant. That's big. And then if we look here in Dragon, we get the -1. Okay, so that's -56. And then we also get it from the Draconic skill of Draconic Awe. We get the -5, so that should be a -61. So then if we go back over and we look at the actual battle log here, let's look at that top one that we were looking at, -61. And so the reason that I get that 5 isn't just because I have that skill. The reason that I get that 5 is because my total element value is higher than my opponent's. So that's one of the big reasons why it does pay to upgrade your Draconic stones. Okay, so let's go to the next stats. Well, we should have just stayed right there on the loot log. Look here and check log. So now we've done army damage and army damage received. So let's look at your I'm going to skip infantry damage because it's not really that important, but you'll pick it up in the other stuff. Let's look at your cavalry damage, 109.8. So where do we get that? Let's start with the Lord. And I don't know why I scrolled over to the left when it's always on the top left. Let's go down here to cav damage 67.2. Where do we get that? Let me see. So 60, remember that number, 67.2. So look at our bonus benefits. There's 40.5 of it. Then look in the council. Not there. Not there. There we go. 25. So we have the 25 plus what we get over here. So that gets us to 65.5. Then we go to Alliance Research, and you will see cav damage here. So I have right now a total of 1.2 here, and then another 0.5 there. So that's where you get your cav damage. And while we're looking at that Alliance Research, and this is another place, you know, when I was going through all of the stats here and kind of building out the spreadsheet, this Alliance Research, again, like I mentioned in another video, is a place that is often overlooked. And you're having your leadership of your alliance understand the value of what to pick as you go through and you build this is super important. So as you can see, we missed a, cav damage here. We skipped over more bow damage here. And these should be things that you don't skip over, that you do. As you go through, people are just looking what's coming ahead, and they're not actually keeping up with, the important things that maybe you've already passed that you didn't completely fill out. Infantry damage is not that important. Your infantry does not do a lot of damage at all. Okay, so that's where the cav is. Let's go ahead while we're at it. Let's look at the bow damage. So if we look here, so that's the cav damage for Lord. And let's go ahead and look over in the dragon. So cav damage here, you get 42.6. That's awesome. So you get this. If you look over here at your cav damage, there it is. It's all there. It's in the skill itself. So you get this both from upgrading, which I would need to be level 60 dragon to raise it anymore. And it would go up 5 for the next level. And you also get it from evolving your skill. So don't overlook evolving each of your skills, and especially your damage modifying ones, which are your bow and your cav here. Okay. So there's bowman damage. So now let's take a look at your, let's go back over here. Let's take a look at your bowman damage, because we just looked at your cav damage. So if we go over here to loot, go to battle log, loot log, go back to this again, and we scroll on down. 102.4 is bowman damage. Again, this is all gonna be the same now. Look here, more info, scroll on down. Scroll on down. My bowman damage, 66.9. If I look in my alliance research and I go through, I will see here at 0.9 and a little bit more over here. 0.5 for 1.4. If I go down to my equipment, And I look down here, bowman damage 40.5. Now, if I look over at my covenant, I'll see 25 here. And that's it for bowman damage on Lord. That's where that all comes from. Then if you look over here at your dragon layer, you go back to skills, you will see that you get the rest of it from your 35.5, which is what should match up here. Let's see. Let's keep me honest. Go down to bowman damage. 35.5 matches up exactly with what we have in skills. And that's where your bowman damage comes from. And now if we go back to the report again, battle log, loot log, check log. All right, scroll on down. So I'm gonna tell you, when you're looking at the damage stats, the ones that are important are your army damage, like we started off with, your army damage received. That is all your troops. So that's just like the troop stats at the top. These apply to the damage that you have here. So really your bowmen are doing 205.9 damage because you stack your army damage on top of each of your different troop type damages. Same thing goes with the damage received. The army damage received -61 would go on top of what you have here. So your army damage and your army damage received of all of the damage modifying stats is your most important. Follow that up with your infantry damage received would be the next most important. Your bowman damage would be very important. Your cav damage is also up there as an important one. And then you have these guys. These are your bowman versus infantry damage, bowman versus cav damage, cav versus infantry, cav versus bow. Your infantry versus bowman damage reduction would be really high on the list as one of the most important. And you get those directly from your dragon. Go over here, dragon skills. If I go over to infantry versus bowman damage reduction, 80.6. So what was our total in the actual report? Scroll to the very bottom. 80.6. So you get them all from these right here. These versus different types damage modifying stats all come from your dragon skills. So it's very important to raise your dragon skills as you go and try to keep them at the max to get those raised, to get your dragon skills raised. Again, you can get that. The majority of that you'll get, especially at the beginning, is going to come right off of your Path of Legend. And the Legend shop will allow you to buy, and I haven't bought for today, so you can watch the magic in action. So you can go through and buy those. And so one thing on the Path of Legend. Path of Legend is one of those things where you need to get to the highest level that you can, but you also have to remember to log in several times throughout the day and empty the chest. So take your rewards, and this will kind of stack up here. So it's really important to do that. So the majority of your skill, your dragon skill elixir, you'll actually get from the Path of Legend. You can also get it from rewards, and I'm not going to go over all the different types of rewards that you can get because it varies as you go through. But for example, you can get them from the Kingdom Raid, if you're from your alliance rewards and from your individual rewards. You can also get them daily from the Spire. So if you go into here, you can go down here and buy them up. There's 3 different places to get them from. Okay. And that's where you can raise up your dragon skill levels. That's the best way of doing that is just log in several times during the day, and you can do that. The evolve crystals you can get from your alliance store on a daily basis. This is all free to play here. Other than this, there's the alliance boost that will get you the level 4 crystal daily. But these guys right here are all free to play. You get it from your merit that you can get from donating to your alliance, from constructing, various different tasks that you can do. Here, I think it will actually tell you all the different places you can get your alliance merit. So gathering within your alliance hive, constructing, helping, and donating. Okay, so you can get those daily. And what's great about those is if you look in your items here on your crystals, is when you get 8, you can synthesize it and go up to the next level. So once you have everything at level 3, you can break these down and make the level 4s, and the same thing with the 4s, and the same thing with the 5s to get to 6. So your dragon skills are very important for your damage modifying stats, both the ranking them up to get the damage modifying versus different troop types, as well as the evolve will rank those up as well. And then also for getting the straight damage for Cav and for and for bow. Both evolving and upgrading will raise both of these stat types. Okay, so let's go look at the list one more time. Battle log, loot log, check log. Scroll on down to the bottom. So we have gone through army damage received, cav damage, bow damage, and we've also gone through the received, the bow damage received, and the cav damage received, same thing. So those are going to come off the same place where you got them, where you got the damage plus for each of those. So that'll come from your hero covenant, and it will come from your gear bonus, your equipment bonus. And let's look at those really quick. And this is the last of the stats, of the damage modifying stats. You get them here. You get your bowman damage received, negative 25. And over here you will get your cav damage received, negative 25. You will get your infantry damage received, negative 25 from the champion of dragons. And then if you look at your equipment bonus, go to the armory, bonus benefits, infantry damage received, negative 40.5. Your cav damage received, negative 40. your bowman damage received, negative 40.5. And so then everything else would come off of the dragon skills that we just talked about. So I hope this helps. If you could, leave a comment below and look out for the next video coming in the next few days. Thank you.